Ba doobie doobie, Scooby dooby doo. Ba doobie doobie, Scooby dooby doo. Ba 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 boo. Oh, hold on. Afro Mike's got shit in his hair. He won't like that. Oh, I'm preening you, making you all pretty and respectable. I wouldn't go that far. Hades is here, deity. Hades and the deity are here. It's gonna be a good free for all Friday. Cora Nightmares and hey Morgan, good to see ya. Lixazan, Neo Chimera, Shidokage's back, Soren Eagle, Glen Acres, Nitro, PC format, Yarbra, Gonzin, Ulamog is back, homosexual Sasuke, Mr. Beppis, Froky Leader, Joseph Bloom, Willie, Smoky Loki, Pizza Man, Ricky Gal, it's just me. What was that? I don't know why I'm here. The thumbnail alone piqued my interest. Oh no! If the thumbnail piqued your interest, two things: get some help, and you're gonna fit in fine. That thumbnail made me spit my coffee. Shame on you. And this is coming from Yoshikage Kira. The scratchy scratch says, "Where am I?" Yeah, none of us know. Wherever it is, it's weird, it's creepy, and we hope it doesn't exist anywhere else. Hey, Sean. Shit, Okage says I can't get stupid or I'll be brain dead. I already am. It's not that bad. Once all the brain cells are gone, you don't even really miss them anymore. Did I get your email? Oh, probably not. I don't go on that account a lot. I probably haven't seen it, Wolverine. I don't use that account a lot anymore. Most of kills. Hey, how are you, my friend? Thank you. I appreciate that. Most of kills. It always makes me think of Moista Fista. I can't help it. Moista Fista is part of my legacy. Probably the most important part of my legacy. How old am I, Lewis? An ancient 58 years old. God damn, that's old. I mean, I know, okay, relatively speaking, there are people that live to be 100. I'm not going to be one. But relatively speaking, it may not be that old. It just, when I look back on it, it's like, shit. I've been doing this life thing a long time. I actually, talking about that, I've told you guys before how when I was a little kid, baseball was my first love. And baseball and Batman. Those are my first two things I remember being super passionate about. And I just found out that there is, in this general region where I live, in the Capital District area of New York, there's an over 55 baseball league. Had no idea. I'm thinking about maybe looking into playing. I don't know. I'm gonna have to see. For the most part, my body would hold up. Really, I mean, fortunately, with all I put it through with the wrestling stuff, it's not that bad. I don't have that many aches and pains. But my shoulder is shitty, and there's no sense in playing. And it's my throwing shoulder, so I'm not sure. I'll see how my shoulder would hold up. Let's see. What do you call Mexican in DBZ? Look below. Okay, Wolverine. A Mexican in DBZ. Kurt is going to outlive all of us. I don't think so, Morgan. I don't want that to be the case. I want you guys to be going on and carrying on long after my ass is gone. Ay caramba, Alpha says. Oh, yes. Lude says, you excited for the sex jokes you'll get to make if and when you read 69? Yes. I'll be writing them for 10 years prior. I read something about that PC format, about Dean Koontz predicting the coronavirus outbreak. And the thing is, though, the way I've always looked at stuff like that. Hold on, okay, yeah. Wolverine hasn't given his punchline yet. The thing about things like that are, when you figure all the fiction that's out there, all the things that are written, performed, whatever, some things have to be prophetic. You know what I'm saying? It's just like there was talk with oh gosh, I can't think of his name. The guy who was Nostradamus. They talk about how many of Nostradamus's predictions have come true. Well, the guy used to fling shit at the wall all day long, every day. So you're bound to hit on some of them when all you're doing is making guesses. No, it didn't. Wolverine says, did the punchline come through? No, you might have to. You know how Susan likes to likes to censor things, so you might have to get creative with the way you write it out. Let me go back to the what do you call a Mexican in DBZ? That was the setup. And oh, that was something else I just found out about too. Um, you guys were telling me favorite Disney World attraction resorts. Oh, I like talking Disney World, Sean. Rise of the Resistance, man. We went on that last time. I'm gonna give it to Rise of the Resistance by a hair. I can't recommend that enough for any of you if you get a chance to go down to Disney World. Rise of the Resistance, then it's Flight of Passage and Soarin' right behind it. But and resort, it depends. The resort favorite resort depends on if it's like just me and my wife going or if it's the whole family going. Right now, that whole favorites thing has really been juggled because of the gondolas. Man, that gondola system they have is such a phenomenal means of transportation. So much better than the buses or the monorails or anything. So that really elevated those resorts for me. Now I already liked oh gosh, I can't think of the name of it. Big surprise, I can't think of names. Oh, shit. It's one of the tropical designed ones. Oh. But anyway, it's on the gondola line. So having already liked that one, that really amps it up even more how much I like it. So it's hard. I'm going to have to leave resorts blank for now. Used to be, if it was just me and my wife, it was Grand Floridian. But I think that might even be, as much as we like that one, we love Animal Kingdom Lodge. So it might be Animal Kingdom Lodge, Jambo House. But the other ones, the ones on the gondola line, are going to move way up. Oh, a Senzu Beaner. All right. That's what you call a Mexican in DBZ. Senzu Beaner, there it was. I see it. Did you hear that Russia's apparently interfering with the 2020 election? Yeah, but Jamie, the thing I look at there, though, is, and I haven't read too deeply into that, and I should, and I will before we have a political conversation. If they're interfering the way they did in 2016, it just blows my mind that people are so twisted about that. Now, if you change votes or get into our voting machines, that's serious business. But if you're getting people to change their vote because you put up bogus information on social media, which is what they did, that's just because then we as Americans are being fucking stupid. If you're not smart enough to see something posted on Facebook or Twitter or some shit and go verify it before you make a decision as big as who you're going to vote for, that's just taking advantage of us being stupid. That's what irritates me about that whole thing. They're manipulating our election. Everybody tries to manipulate our election. Within the country, people try and manipulate it. They put up false truths, half-truths, non-truths, and try and pass them off as being legitimate to try and help their candidate. That's what Russia did. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying if it affected the election, it's because we're dumb. Now, as far as if they're actually trying to hack into the workings, the mechanical functions of the election, then we got a whole different problem Then you're talking about something that could lead to a major international incident. Let's see. This politics has always been a dirty game. That's for sure, Raisin. That's for sure. Wiper says people are stupid. No, impossible. That's why it drives me crazy when people, and again, it's not a good thing, but when they go on about, well, Russia's the one who whatever elected Trump, or Russia meddled in our election. Only if you're stupid they did. So if you're saying that you voted a certain way and were swayed by the Russians, it's because you're dumb. Because all you have to, it's easy enough to verify information. Dare to be stupid, Milog says. People that can't vote properly, can't count votes properly. Yeah, Andrew. Like I say, now, if and they did make attempts at getting into our voting equipment. We know that, but all the agencies have said they were unsuccessful. Jamie says, oh, honestly, it might just be possible the Russians were spreading truth after all. That's the double mindfucker. Yeah, really, Jamie. That's an anime twist right there. Smokey Loki. says, speaking of coronavirus, George Carlin did a funny bit on fear of germs. How is your immune system going to get strong when you sterilize everything? I don't remember that one, Smokey Loki, and I was a big George Carlin fan. I probably heard it, but you know how the memory, although usually my long-term memory is good. I don't remember that one. That's pretty good. How's your immune system going to get strong when they sterilize everything? That's definitely a Carlinism. That sounds like him. I believe Curtis is St. Thomas' father. Except the only thing is, Zephyr, I got my shaved head, my bald head, just from shaving it. I didn't go through all those calisthenics and shit. Screw that. That seems like it would make me tired. Rush equals red herring. Yeah, Jamie, that's why that drives me nuts when people talk about that. It's like, if you don't want Russia to influence our election, stop being a moron. Simple. And I was gonna say, I don't put myself above anybody else. I'm sure you guys do the same thing. If you see something, any political statement leaning, particularly if it's a little extreme, first thing you do is you go try and verify it with other sources, and it's not hard to find out when something's been made up. So again, if people are seeing something on Facebook and they're going, "Oh, is that true? Well, I can't vote for Hillary now," and they didn't bother to verify it, it's just because they're morons, and Russia took advantage of us being morons. Smiggy says, "How's your 1-inch punch, Curtis?" Not good. When I was boxing, obviously, I had better short punching power. But even when I was boxing, I was a bomber. So I would take 2-3 punches to deliver one because I was going to throw bombs. So, nah, my 1-inch punch was not much. 6-inch punch was all right. Zombie Wolf says, "Is 1-inch what?" My 1-inch penis, that's the same as it's always been, Flame Enforcer. Well, I can't say the same. It's actually saggier. The balls attached to it are saggier now than they used to be. Glenn Aker says, "Finally got off my lazy butt. Now I'm a goose." Yeah, I saw you're in there, Glenn. Welcome to the Goose. I saw you. When I go through at the Goose, and I check for messages and stuff like that, I get certain things in like a little feed they have there, and I saw that you came in. That's one way to play baseball. Bleach. What's that? Okay, I can't go. Like I say, I can't put any videos up on these because I put these videos up to the. But please, guys, don't start giving me a whole bunch of. Hold on a second of videos to watch because it takes me away from the chat. All right, let's see if that'll. Okay, hold on. Let me. Just in case. It's only 18 seconds, so that if that sound comes over, I'm not worried about it. That's an interesting pitch. Excuse me. That was a little bit different. I'm looking forward to when we get started on Bleach at the Goose. I'm really looking forward to that. Hey, Chippy Salt. The hell is that monster on the thumbnail? Golden. Hasn't been around lately. Good. Hopefully it stays that way. I've been meaning to sign up for a while and work has been distracting me, but yeah, I was watching some of your Death Note earlier. Oh, no, I'm glad to have you going. Oh, yeah, Death Note was so good. Attack on Titan. Holy shit. That's going to be way, way up on my list when this is done. God damn, these last couple episodes I watched. That's some brilliant freaking storytelling. I'm assuming you guys, the series has been out for a while. I'm assuming you guys have seen it. And be careful, please be careful. I haven't seen all of it yet. I've got 3 episodes to go. So please don't tell me any conclusions. But I just saw where Levi had to make the call of who to inject, Erwin or Armin. What? I mean, that was just some brilliant writing right there. What a spot he was put in. God damn, that was so good. I'm really. I mean, I anything you guys recommend, I expect to enjoy because I've enjoyed all of it so far. But man, this is just next level. Jamie says, I actually had to laugh when I heard that Trump removed McGuire as acting head of intelligence. All I could hear is his voice from The Apprentice saying, "You're fired." Yeah, listen. I admitted, especially after watching the Democratic debate the other night, that I'm voting for Trump. But these are the things that annoy the shit out of me. There was no need to fire him. He's all pissed off because numbnuts there. God. Schiff. They gave the information to Schiff about, the apparent Russian attempts to hack the election in his favor, and he said Schiff's going to weaponize it and blah, blah, blah. There's nothing there to weaponize. Of all and Donald Trump is a doofus. I'll be the first to admit it. But he has no control over what the Russians do, no matter how much the extreme left would like to make you believe differently. So if they're trying to work the election in his favor, so what? As Americans, don't be dumb and don't fall for the things that the false information that they give to you. Let's see. Oh yeah, brother. He says that AOT episode was amazing. I just blown away, absolutely blown away. I mean that was up there with things I saw in Hunter x Hunter, and you guys know how I feel about that. But Jesus. And Yoshikage Kira says, just curious, does anyone here have beautiful hands? No, Kira, mine are disgusting, so don't think about it. They're gross. They're all gnarled up from the knuckles break and stuff from all the years of punching the bag. No, I don't have nice hands. Just making sure you know. Trump cheats at everything. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of evidence there for that. Again, just because I'm voting for Trump, I'm not what they would definitely call a Trumpster. I see all his warts and blemishes. It's just the Democrats didn't give me anybody better to vote for. Hey, anybody here? I watched that entire debate. The Democrat, I just, you know me, I'm a politics geek, with a good friend of mine who is actually a Democrat, and we both had the same take on it. Everybody, while the media has been pushing Elizabeth Warren since the start, they're all going on and on and on about how she won. Wow, I didn't think it was close. I thought Buttigieg won that. And this is coming from somebody, I have no horse in the race. It doesn't matter to me who won. But I thought it was, because we came out of it, and my friend, who, again, was a Democrat, said the same thing. We both came out of it going, wow, it's unusual to have a debate where with, what was it, 5 or 6 people up there, where one person clearly won, but Buttigieg did. And then all we hear is how Elizabeth Warren won the thing. Well, because she ripped on dipshit from New York City. I mean, names are just completely out of my head right now. There's the chair shots. Bloomberg. Everybody ripped on him. She just jumped on. She was smart enough to jump on it first, but maybe I must have been watching something different than everybody else. I think Warren did okay, but I thought Buttigieg was a clear winner. Smokey Loki says, I have an idea for a new anime. Attack on a Titan meets High School DxD. Giant sexy wife who's trying to bang humanity into extinction. I'm gonna watch, and I'm gonna lobby to get a voice acting role in it too. Smokey Loki, you need to get that made, brother. First of all, you need to copyright that idea before they steal it. Good to see you, Chardonnay. But I'm just curious what anybody else thought. I don't know. I don't know if anybody, which I don't blame you. I don't know if anybody even watched the whole debate to have an opinion. But I was just curious. I thought, geez, maybe I watched something different than everybody else did. I thought Buttigieg won clearly, but I don't know. Hey, Dewey, good to see you, my friend. Been waiting to get my car fixed so I can start donating again. Been waiting to ask, though, if you'll ever watch the original FMA. And you loved FMAB, but this one has a lot of different events that take place in even a movie. I would like to. The biggest thing is there's so many other series that I still want to see that it'll probably be a while before I get to it. But yes, I would like to. But it's just that, well, like Attack on Titan. It's an entirely new experience, and I really wanted to see it bad. Same thing with Bleach upcoming and everything. So it'll probably be a while before I could go back to watching another version of something I've already seen. But yes, I would like to see it just because what you guys have described to me as the differences and how much more in depth it goes and everything. So yeah, I would eventually like to see it. Absolutely. Let's see. I'm telling you, Curtis, another amazing anime episode's coming up when you see 19 of Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer's so good too, brother E. I kind of like the dynamic with old Z-Man and Pretty Boy involved now, if only because they're characters similar to Usopp that I like them. I like them as characters. A lot of times, especially what Z-Man did with protecting Tanjiro's box and everything, I really respect some of the things they do, and other times they're like, God, you guys are being annoying, and I like that because I think that's what they're supposed to be, and they do a good job of it. Yeah, Demon Slayer is really good. Let's see. Valkyrie says, "Can you do anime? Whoop, anime opening? No, anime openings are one of the things that get. I don't even, I try to the copyright strikes. I can get taken down pretty much for an anime opening usually, but when you're talking, you got to remember when you're talking about an opening, that's a song, so that's a separate standalone item, and there's not a lot you can say as a reaction to a song. And the Japanese companies are typically very, very protective of their openings and stuff. I'm sure you could get away with some. It's just not. It's just not a fate I'm willing to tempt. Dragon says, my question is, why did they all attack Bloomberg when Bernie is the one in the lead? They may have made a mistake with that strategy. It's funny, Dragon. And I don't disagree with you. You're right. They needed to take down Bernie. Right now, the only reason Bernie's in the lead is because the more centrist vote is so split up. But I think the reason they did it, because I did predict that. I said they're all going to just rail on him. And again, I don't have a dog in that fight, but I get why they're all pissed off at Bloomberg. First of all, you're talking Democrats who generally are the ones who rail against the billionaires, and you got a billionaire coming in polling, in upper, well into the double digits immediately because he's already spent what, $400 million on advertising. So he's going in to buy an election. He came in late. He thinks he's just going to cruise in. And it might work. He's going to plaster the country with so many ads that he blows everybody out of the water. And I don't like Mike Bloomberg. I'm a New Yorker. I remember when he was mayor of New York City. Didn't like him then. He did the one thing that's an absolute deal killer for me, which is trying to push government heavily into your lives, literally trying to pull things out of your hands, making them illegal. And I don't like him at all, and I understand why they all can't stand him. So you're right. It probably would have been strategically better to go after Bernie, but with all the bump Bloomberg got from the time he came in, it might not even be a bad move. But I knew he was going to get it. I knew they were coming after him. They did a hell of a job, too. And he's just, as anybody who watched any part of the debate saw, he's not sharp enough to weather that storm. He just doesn't think quickly on his feet at all. And they were all just hammering him, so he was done. I mean, he just got toasted. Bloomberg is basically Trump if he stayed a Democrat. Pretty much gone. Yeah. And isn't that bizarre? How Trump had been a Democrat, he gets the Republican nod, and Bloomberg had been a Republican, and now he's trying to get the Democratic nod. You're right. They're extremely similar. Extremely similar. Oh no, I didn't see this, Kira. Have you seen Trump criticizing the movie Parasite for winning the Movie Choice Awards? He kept rephrasing South Korea for winning, then including his better taste of movies that would be better. It doesn't surprise me at all. See, again, for any of you who are new here, go when we talk politics. I voted for Trump. I'm going to be voting for Trump again. That's because his policies align more so with mine than do any of the Democrats. As far as understanding what type of person he is, I have no problem with seeing that. Again, he's the type of guy that if all the presidents of my lifetime, the only ones I could think of that if you said, hey, this is a guy, in the prime of his life that you could hang out with, the only ones I would put Trump over would be Jimmy Carter, who I thought, I just didn't like Jimmy Carter as a person. And Richard Nixon. I thought Richard Nixon was actually not a bad president, other than the breaking into the Watergate Hotel and shit. But I mean, policy-wise, he was pretty good. But I think he was an asshole. That's just the impression I got from him all the time. And Jimmy Carter just always struck me as a whiny little bitch. So those are just. But outside of that, those are the only two presidents who I would put below Trump as far as personality. Dragon says, Bloomberg pissed me off when he said that farming is easy. Clearly, has never been anywhere near a farm. Oh, he says a lot of stupid shit, Dragon. He's just getting started too on the national stage. I don't like him at all. I have no respect for his intellect either. They can tell us he's a brilliant man all they want, and I know he made a ton of money on Wall Street, and that's good for him. I mean, I don't begrudge him that, but I still don't think he's bright. Giggity Goose says, how well are you avoiding spoilers for my hero right now? No problem so far, Giggity Goo. I haven't really seen anything. I don't. I try not to, obviously, I don't look for anything like that. And the gang here is all, well, as you guys see, you guys are in the chat all the time. Everybody here is pretty good about trying to protect me from spoilers. So I don't know of anything that's been spoiled. I don't think. I don't think so. Let's see. Hold on, I just want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats here. Okay. Wolverine says I'm gonna have to bounce now. Anyway, gotta walk my dog. Only time the neighbor come out. Oh, no problem. Wolverine, thanks for being away. Good, pal. JFK and Trump, very nice president. See, again, as far as the president, Trump's ideals do align largely with mine. Nobody, and I'm aware of that, on either side is always going to align with me perfectly because my takes are too all over the board. Like I said, I'm an atheist, so you know I'm not going to be with the Republicans a lot. I'm very much about limited government intervention in your life. So especially now, the Democrats aren't into that because the whole push is to the far left, where you know the government runs everything for you. So it's always going to be push and shove for me. JFK was a good president also. That was back in the days when, I will say this though, the differences between Republicans and Democrats were not as big as they are now. I am not a crook. Yes, you are, dude. He was, like I say, he was actually a decent president, but yeah, he was a crook. Ugomag says, Bloomberg is like the coronavirus. At least the virus has the mercy to kill you. Oh, man. And it's funny. I will say this. It seems like, and I think you guys will agree, it seems like one of the few things that Republicans and Democrats can reach across the aisle and agree with each other on is how much everybody hates Mike Bloomberg. so at least he's bringing people together. We got to give him that. He is bringing people together, because if you go on social media, you'll see people on both sides talking about what a douchebag he is. Samson, Curtis, you're tanking that thumbnail, man. Oh, that was just, that's the old days. I know a lot of you guys who might be newer here. We had a character here named Golden, and that was a pic of Golden. And YouTube didn't like him. Susan, and I'll bet you he would fly on YouTube better now, because they've gone, again, YouTube's a constant ping pong ball. Now they've gone further away from that railing on people. I mean, they still do it, but they're not as hard hammering people for content that isn't kid friendly, now that they went too far the other way and got in trouble for being overly kid friendly. So overly kid friendly, that sounds creepy. Well, YouTube's creepy. What about Brandon Rogers? Brandon's a great dude, fantastic dude. Andrew says everyone hates Bloomberg, so Bloomberg will be the next president. Yeah, when I'd like to say we could laugh, you and I could have a good laugh about that and stuff, but unfortunately the way things unfold in America lately, that could happen. Dragon says, what does Trump's hair and a thong have in common? They both barely cover the asshole. That's pretty good. That's actually a pretty good one. I like that. Except I must admit, I like the idea of thongs much better than I like the idea of Trump's hair. Pedo tube, yeah, Big Green. Brother E says, this race is stupid. I don't see anyone beating Trump. And November comes around, people are just going to be sour about it once again. Yeah. I tell you, Brother E, and everybody here, a few months ago, I really thought Trump was going to lose. I thought the Democrats, it's like, okay, you guys just got to not be stupid, and he's toast. Well, they didn't do A, so now I'm not so sure about B. I think he's got a real chance. As far as, I think he's not going to get the nomination, and for Democrats, it's almost too bad. I think Buttigieg could give him a run, because what's going to happen with Bernie is, it doesn't matter how well Bernie's polling, you have a lot of people in this country who are only surface interested in politics. They support Bernie Sanders right now because he's saying things like, I'm going to give everything to you for free. You're not going to pay for your health care. You're just going to go to the doctor anytime you want. And medical care is just going to fall out of the trees. You'll be able to have it any point, anytime. There won't be lines, blah, 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 blah. No cost. Well, sure, people are attracted to that. If he becomes the nominee and it's constant coverage of exactly what that would cost and exactly what it's going to mean to your paychecks, he's not. He's going to die out. He's not going to beat Trump. Biden, I thought could, but Biden should drop out. He doesn't look cogent anymore. And I don't dislike Joe Biden at all. I think Joe Biden's a decent guy, but he looks like an old beat man. Am I wrong though, you guys? I mean, he makes you nervous. He doesn't. I don't want to say he doesn't look like he's all there. I don't want to be mean to him. He just doesn't seem sharp anymore. Did you ever have any thoughts on Tulsi Gabbard? I don't mind Tulsi Gabbard, Tui. I don't mind Tulsi. She's got a lot. I think she's a really decent person. And see, actually, of the Democratic field, if there was anybody I was going to give serious looks to, it would have been two of the women. It would have been Tulsi or and again, names are just, it's just one of those days with the post-concussion. Not Elizabeth Warren, of course, the other woman on the stage, from Minnesota, the senator from Minnesota. Why does everything escape me today? But Tulsi's too centrist and too willing to embrace both sides, and she's got she's got a little bit of her own issues, but so does everybody else. And I just Klobuchar, thank you, Amy Klobuchar, thank you guys. And Klobuchar, she did so well in what was this second primary, or well, first was caucus and a primary in New Hampshire. She did so well. She had momentum, and I think that debate might have just killed all her momentum. She looked terrible. She looked, the last thing, Amy Klobuchar specifically, not any candidate, but Amy Klobuchar specifically, because of her past, the one thing she really can't do is look like she's losing her temper, and she did all night. I think that toasted her. I don't know what you guys think, but she looked like she was right on the edge of losing it the whole time. And because of her past, with the allegedly throwing staplers at and treating staff poorly, that's what hurt her to begin with. That's why she never polled well to begin with. So coming out in a debate and looking like you're about to rip off somebody's gonads, for her, I think it's a death sentence. Somebody else might be able to get away with it. Somebody who doesn't have that history, but Amy, nope. Amy was toast. Looking like that. Pinhead Larry says Meruem for president. Yeah, I'm with that. And we if we have to, and if he goes too wild, we have nukes. We already saw that's how you take him out. Justice for Johnny Depp. Yeah, Frosty Pooh. He got screwed big, didn't he? That's the problem with the whole. I have no issue with the Me Too movement. I have issue with just believing anyone flat across the board without saying, okay, we're not disbelieving you, but let's gather proof. And that's not what we do anymore. Now, when somebody makes a claim, it's like, you must believe her, or you're just a horrible person. Well, no, you can say, I want you to get help. I want you to be safe. Now let's get the details of what happened. So things like this, where you ruin somebody's career on false allegations, doesn't happen. Omega says, the thing about Trump, he's a goof. He's an idiot sometimes, but his policies are mostly harmless. So I don't particularly care if he's president or not. And most of his policies work for me. And a lot of the hyperbole and the things that just make the far left, I don't want to just say the left, because it's not all Democrats, it's the far left, that make the far left's head spin are not even true. I mean, they take things like what he said about the Mexicans coming across the border. Now, in fairness, he did say some of them are rapists, they're murder. That's true. Some of them are. He didn't state it well, but he's not wrong. So that is an issue. That is something that needs to be looked at. That's why we have to have security at the borders. But when you take something like that, and the whole grab by the pussy thing, was it off color? Yes. Was it inappropriate? Probably. Did he admit to assaulting someone? No. He was saying that, he said specifically, hell, they'll just let you come up and grab him by the pussy. So he's saying that basically women were throwing themselves at him. Whether it's true or not, we don't know. But it's taken out of context, misconstrued. So he's a serial harasser of women because he even said he just. But we all know that we have a huge sector of society that just can't wait for the next reason to be offended. So, yes, I do, Centauri. Remember when there was a high school kid running for president called D's Nuts? Didn't D's Nuts get a whole lot of write-in votes too? I thought so. Trump's gonna grab 2020 by the pussy, Chardinhan says. Brother E says, I think the problem is that it's not Donald Trump being stupid, it's just politicians are getting stupider in both parties. I agree with that one. Both sides, yeah. Politically speaking, the representation is going downhill. Yeah, I couldn't agree with more. Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, throw them all. They're all the same. They're all the same thing as far as I'm concerned, and it's not good. Yeah, I agree with you. Nacho says Nezuko is a cat. I love Nezuko Nacho. She's such a great character. At first, it was just the whole, she's such a sweet little girl. It's just the whole paternal thing comes out of me. But then watching her kick the head off a demon and everything, and she's got those big cutesy eyes, and that bamboo thing always in her mouth. There's just a lot to like. I just really, really enjoy Nezuko. I think she's great. Let's see. It's the brains from Futurama. Yeah, Valkyrie. Scum McFly says, Curtis, that thumbnail made my day. Yeah. I'd forgotten I had that one. I used to use it for free, obviously, for Free for All Fridays, and I was going through my files there, and I went through and found it again. So, yeah, I like that one. We shall all vote for a dog as a president, the goodest boy for 2020. Thumbnail is sexy. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, Chas. Jamie's responding to Lud, but before no one listened to the victims, we need a balance. Oh, absolutely. Right. And that's the problem with society in general, Jamie, and I think you'll agree with me, is it's never about balance in America. It's always about, okay, here's a problem, and it doesn't matter which side of the aisle it starts on, but instead of just correcting it and getting things to normal, let's bounce all the way to the other side and go to the other extreme because A was a problem, so let's go all the way to Z. And that's how we've been doing things for decades in this country, and it's kind of stupid. Let's see. Sean K. Thoughts on birthright citizenship. People coming from other countries coming to the U.S. to give birth, returning home. Trump was a big critic about it. I don't like it. There's not much we can do about it because I believe it's in the Constitution, isn't it? I believe it's part of the Constitution. So you would have to have a constitutional amendment to change it. Now, because I am not a fan of it, because I think it encourages the wrong type of behavior. It encourages people to breach our borders. So I'm not a fan of it. However, if it's in the Constitution, just like everything else, whether I'm a fan of it or not, doesn't matter. It makes it the law. But again, just by the nature of that being the law, you're basically encouraging people to do just that. So you're encouraging people to try and crash your borders so they can get citizenship for their child, and in many cases they're hoping by extension themselves. So no, I'm not a fan, but it's one of those cases where I'm not a fan, I don't like it, but so what? There's nothing, I'm not saying it's got to be changed, or I don't think that should be allowed to happen anymore because it's in the Constitution. If it were put to a vote, if they were to try and make a constitutional amendment, I would support it, but it would never go through the process. Cloud Raleigh says, this is a topic streamer. Can I ask what I want? No, Free for All Fridays are all just that, free for alls. Anything at all you want to bring up. We've been on anime, we've been on politics, and it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to talk about. You did something about that in Canada, did they, Jesse? I didn't know that. Again, I'm not a fan of it. I think it clearly encourages the wrong type of behavior, but if it's in the Constitution, what can you do? Please direct the more ownage pranks. Like I say, right now, I'm pretty set on what we're reacting to right now. We got a pretty regular schedule. I used to powerlift a lot, Samson. I love powerlifting. Of the 3 lifts, my deadlift was the best percentage-wise. I always had a good deadlift. Had a decent squat. My bench was okay, but surprisingly, being barrel-chested and everything, I had a decent enough bench. I never used, back in when I was powerlifting, they would just come out with them, but I never used shirts, the bench shirts or anything like that. So natural, I could bench just a little under 400. I never quite got to 4. But my squat and deadlift were pretty good. Favorite WWE wrestler and moment in WWE? Sean Kate. Well, my favorite all-time wrestler wasn't WWE. He was WWF. Was Bruno Sammartino, because he was like just an absolute hero to me as a kid. He was one of. I have 4 or 5 huge heroes that I've had in life, and he's one of them. Got to meet him many years later. It was so cool. Of the more current group, Undertaker, I've always thought that Mark Calloway was a brilliant wrestler, and that was a fantastic gimmick. Favorite moments? If we go current to WWE, beyond the things Bruno had accomplished, it's got to be Mick Foley off the top of the cage. That was just sick. Oh, the T-shirt. Yes, I wanted to show everybody the T-shirt. Thank you for bringing that up, Neo Chimera. I was waiting for this one to come in. I told you guys I've got a problem with buying anime T-shirts, so now I wait for the sales to come on. So they had a sale. Look at this one. I love this one. Titan, take that, Robin. God damn it. And I like to think that's Levi coming at him, and in the next moment he took Robin's nape. Put it that way. I love that shirt. I couldn't wait for it to get in there. Smokey Logie, thanks for the magenta sky. I think I've got that word. I think magenta has become part of my vernacular. I haven't struggled for it now. It's sad how proud of myself I am, because I can remember one word. But thank you for the magenta sky, Loki. If you want to move here for a better life, then more power to you. But there are immigration laws in place for a reason, and it's not fair to other immigrants to jump the line. I agree with that completely. When they've been waiting for years, the extreme left just doesn't get it. I could not agree with you more. I'm all for immigration. Immigration is what made this country great. I'm not for illegal immigration. I'm not for people, their first act in this country being jumping across our border. To me, it's just, I always thought it was a common sense thing. It's like Mayor McCheese here that we have in New York, that fucking moron, was on TV the other day. Of course, he's got all kinds of issues because of the bail reform he created that's letting dangerous criminals loose on the streets. And now we've had some federal program funding cut because of giving licenses to illegals and things of that nature. And he was on TV the other day whining and bitching, saying, but the feds want information on immigrants or undocumented citizens who have done nothing wrong. No, they're undocumented. They've already done something wrong. They came across the border illegally, you fucking dipshit. Jeez, don't get me going on him. That's one that'll stir passions for me. I can't stand that fucking idiot. I really can't stand him. Nacho, how do Gusha 100s work? If you start a show with it, do you rely on the 100 to continue the series unless it gets voted on? Yes, only because I can't, if a Gusha 100 series starts and somebody just, doesn't continue it for whatever reason, I'd like to say I could pick it up for them, but there's just not enough time. Because even with that Gusha 100 video being gone, you could say, well, there was a spot for it if they sponsored it, but not necessarily, because lately, and I appreciate this, all the support, we come close every month to maxing out on G100s. This month, I thought was going to be the second time I was going to have to tell everybody that, we're full for the month. But then I ended up with a few days where I had some stuff canceled, and I was able, well, it was just this week. You guys saw I put up some extra G100 videos and got back on track. So, yeah, unfortunately, I just don't have enough time to continue them. Owen says, the Candy Brothers, what was your signature tag team move with your bro? Oh, that was, he's talking about the old days. My brother, it was Curtis and Corky. And I don't know if we had any specific signature moves. We had a lot of smaller moves we did together. But that's a sad story. His real name was Lee. And he came into our wrestling school, and we knew with Lee right from the get-go that he was batshit, had no fear. Like when you would bring somebody in the school, the first thing we'd do to teach them to bump, we'd have them squat down and hold the middle rope and then just fall back so they could get used to the idea. It hurts. Bumps hurt. And it's just a series of 2x6s, 2x10s under you that you're flailing your back onto. Now Lee, he started right from day one, bam, on his back, right from a standing position. He was crazy. We all loved him. And when he got out of wrestling school and he was going to start working matches with us, his big fear was nothing physical. He didn't like to talk. He's introverted a little bit, and he didn't like working the mic. So since he looked a little bit like me, we came up with the idea, okay, he'll be my little brother, and I'll be the overbearing older brother who does all the talking. So that was, we were able to get Lee over that way and let him get more comfortable in front of a crowd before he had to learn to talk on the mic. And we had some great time. His family got incorporated right into a lot of the angles. His mom gave me one of the hardest slaps I've ever had working a match. We had a gimmick set up, and we told her how to do it, and she was all concerned. She goes, well, Curtis, I don't want to hurt you. I said, you're not going to hurt me. I said, you wail me as hard as you can. I said, try not to cut my ear. I said, put it right here on my cheek. I said, but wail me as hard as you can. And she did. And unfortunately, many years ago, the personal demons caught up with Lee, and he took his own life. And it's really, really sad. He was really a good dude. Really good dude. We had some great times together. Because after we became tag team, of course, you always have to have the breakup, and we worked some fun matches. He's the one who hit me with that goddamn stainless steel sink. I still remember the night he came to do that show, and he was working at Home Depot at the time. And so he'd gotten it from there. He shows up, and we had a big feud going. He goes, dude, look what I got. I said, good for you. It's a sink. I said, what the fuck are you going to do with that? He goes, I'm going to hit you with it. I said, the fuck you are. Oh, come on. It'll be cool. He goes, he was a good guy. Chippy Salt says, at the end of the day, politicians do the job. We don't. Not saying the system is perfect, but the world needs governance. Oh, absolutely. Chippy, and the world absolutely needs governance. It's just too bad that so often governance creates, and within governments of any type, it becomes so filthy, it becomes so dirty. But like you say, it obviously, to have a society, we need governance, and no matter what form you use, there's going to be people who corrupt the system. It's tough, Giggity Goo. He says, suggestions for neutral news media for current events. What I do, I've given up on finding anything that's completely neutral. The one I do, who does seem to do a good job at, though, I shouldn't say, there's realclearpolitics.com. In the respect that if you look at their articles and stuff that they post, they will post from both sides, which is as best you can get, I think, for neutrality. But what I do is if I want to confirm something, like I say, that's why you can't get fooled by Russian garbage, because if I see something on social media, on a website somewhere, I go to news agencies that I know lean left, ones that I know lean right, and go to social media, and between all of that, you'll be able to ferret out whether it's true or not. But I never just take from one or the other. As far as for neutral, I wish I had some good information to give you, but I see a bit of a lean pretty much in everybody. Although, again, Real Clear Politics, I like that. I think 538 is pretty fair, too. Nate Silver at 538 tries to stay fair. You can see a little bit of lean here or there, but that's another website I would recommend. But, yeah, those two. And again, Real Clear Politics, it's not that they're neutral. They just present, well, yeah, it would be neutrality. They present both sides. When you look, every day they have a new list of articles that they link. They'll be from both sides. So it's like you can go in and read and see if this makes sense, and then read a counter article right below it and see who made more sense. So that's pretty much how I do things. Let's see. Hold on. Let me just make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Where did me and my wife meet? That's an interesting question, Smokey Loki. We actually, met many, many years ago. Would have been very late 80s or very early 90s. We worked at the same place. It was an ARC, which was they've changed the official name, but it was called Association for Retarded Children. It was a government agency that provides services for people who are developmentally challenged. And I had just come off the road from doing stand-up. That's when I was doing stand-up for a living. And at that time, I was still with my first wife, and I came off the road to try and make the relationship work. And so I was looking for a job, and I took a job for a few months driving a bus for them. And my wife was the assistant director of transportation at the time. So we worked together. And it was several years later, my marriage had gone by the wayside. Hers had gone by the wayside. And we kind of reconnected, and it took off from there. Yep. I don't think anybody ever asked me that before. That's cool. Now, Nacho says, there's a horror con my friends and I want to go to. One year it had every Michael Myers, and this lucky Dick Witch got his mask signed by them all. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's cool. Yeah, I love stuff like that, Nacho. I got to get out for more things like that, for more cons and stuff like that. I really have had a good time on the rare occasion I've been able to do them. Thanks, Dark Dingo. I appreciate that. I'll say it over and over. I am so simple because I am so entertained by these things. These little icon pics that they give us. What do they call them? Stickers? I love them. Hold on. Oh, here's another one. What is that? That looks like, oh. Guys, what cartoon series had a Lemonhead character? Was it Adventure Time? Wow, that was a flashback immediately. I just love those. I don't know why I love those things. I think it was Adventure Time, wasn't it? Didn't they have a Lemonhead character in there? I think. I haven't done a DNA ancestry test, Sean. I'd like to, because there's a lot of confusion about our ancestry, especially on my mom's side, because her mom, my grandmother, they think she was from Spain, but they do know that she was buried in an earthquake when she was little, and she shook her whole life. People that knew her when she was older thought, just sometimes as people get older, they have that shake. She had her whole life because she'd been buried for several days in an earthquake. For many decades, they thought it happened in France. Then they got more information, said they think it was actually in Spain. So I would love to do one. I got to do one at some point. Thanks, Dark Bingo. Sending some Friday hype. I appreciate it, pal. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Jamie says, isn't there a way to get that numbnut de Blasio impeached as mayor? He's killing my dear city. What the hell were they thinking the borough's re-electing him? He's a Red Sox fan. Hello, red flag. Yeah, you're right, too. And that's the ultimate red flag in New York. You know what it is, Jamie? New York City is so blue at this point, it doesn't matter. Whoever the Democrats nominate is going to win the mayor. But I'm with you. I can't believe the Democrats couldn't come up with somebody better than this asshole. De Blasio, Bloomberg, they've had a string of mayors down there that have just been abysmal. But it's whoever as it stands right now, whoever the Democrats put forward, put the mayorship on them because a Republican can't win there. I just wish, like I'm sure is what you're alluding to, that I can't believe the Democrats couldn't come up with somebody better. Owen says, how much would it cost you to watch and review one episode of Monday Night Raw? Well, it's not a cost or anything, Owen. I don't know that. I mean, you mean watch live with everybody? I mean, not put their information on the screen, but do a live stream during it, or just a standalone video. I just don't know how much interest there would be in that. Recently I've watched a lot more WWE because the writing has gotten substantially better. It couldn't have gotten worse. So the writing has gotten better, so I've watched more. But I don't know how much interest there would be. I never really pushed it a lot here because our crowd is mostly anime and reaction video people, which that's not throwing a stone. That's who I've invited here, basically, with the content. I don't know how much interest there'd be in something like that. Excuse me. Lemon Grab? Was that it, Nacho? Adventure Time, the screaming voice Lemon Grab. That's right. Okay. I knew that looked familiar to me, Lemon Grab. Yeah, thank you, guys. Dragon Series, The Expanse, The Magician, Supernatural. Cool shows. The only one of those three I really know is Supernatural. And I've heard nothing but good things about Supernatural. Tui says, unrelated but currently watching Code Geass, and I'm surprised with the feels. Don't think I've had feels like this since Death Note. Don't know when you'll get into it, but it's amazing. I think, Tui, I haven't made it official yet, but I think we're going to be doing that right after Trigun. Because we're, let me remember, make sure I'm not telling you guys the wrong thing. I keep it written down because my memory's so bad. Yeah, that is how I had it. As soon as we finish Demon Slayer, we're going to Trigun. And again, not officially, but I think it's going to be Code Geass next. And that's just because at that $1 level, I put in series that have just been talked about a lot but haven't won a poll. And there's no series that has been talked about more that we haven't done yet than Code Geass. Everybody talks about how great it is. So there's a real good chance that's where I'm going to be putting that one. Let's see. Because I just need to see it after all that you guys have said about it. Edgar V. Oh, was watching Ali Frazier 3 right now. Man, what a battle. And Foreman Frazier, damn punishing fight from Foreman. Boxers were brutal back then. Edgar, I cried when Joe Frazier was one of my heroes as a kid with what Foreman did to him. And as you saw, Frazier would keep getting up. Frazier will fight. He said he would rather die than surrender, and he wasn't kidding. He would just keep getting up forever. And that the 3 Ali Frazier fights, I don't think we'll ever see anything like that in boxing again, especially nowadays because you can't go past 12 rounds, and those guys did it for 15. And that's the fight in 3, even though Ali won when Frazier couldn't come out. That's the fight where I think it was Angelo Dundee, but Ali's corner said he was hallucinating during the fight. Ali was sitting on his stool, and they said he's going, "Uh-oh, I'm dying," and they're like, what do you mean? You're not dying, champ? He goes, yep, I'm dying. I'm dying. And I guess he was like telling them things to tell his loved ones and stuff. That's how, I mean, that's just how extreme those fights were. And the horrific beatings those two guys put on each other definitely shortened both of their lives. Thank you, Lude. Appreciate that, pal. But oh wait, I almost saw, oh, it's a little mustache. I didn't even catch that was over there. And that mustache, wow, everything does. That mustache makes me think of old school baseball too, because that was the thing back at the turn of the century. Did you like Koch, Dinkins, or Giuliani as mayor? Giuliani did a really good job of cleaning up Penn Station, and I spent a lot of time in Penn Station, and it used to be an absolute hellhole as far as druggies and muggings and transients down there creating havoc with people. So I had a lot of Giuliani. I think has lost a lot of his mind, unfortunately, but he did do a really good job of cleaning things up. Dinkins was like, you couldn't really hate him, but he didn't really do much either. He was okay, and Koch was okay. Ed Koch was a decent mayor, I thought. But Giuliani, aside from anything else, he's the one that cleaned up Midtown Manhattan, so at least you could be a tourist there and not feel like you're always on the verge of getting stabbed. Sometimes not with a blade, sometimes with something, but something was going to stick you. Tui says, we ever do more talks about personal stories when we got time? Oh, I love doing that, Tui. That you said, I just got to find the time for it. I love doing that. Telling the personal stories is fun. I think what I need to do with those so I can make time, and I thought of this before, what I need to start doing is when something comes up that makes me reflect back on a story that I think might be interesting to you guys, I'm going to start just pulling out my phone and just quick recording it on my phone and uploading it from there. Because if I wait to formally do it when I'm sitting and recording and stuff, I have so many other things going on, I'll just forget, because that's what I do. But I'll try and start doing that. When I think of a story or something comes up that makes me remember a story that I think you guys will enjoy, I'll have to just start recording it on my phone and posting it that way. I want to see that Tyson Fury fight. Kid Curry, I'm not sure if I want to pay $80 for it. If I do, I got to call some friends because I ain't going to watch that goddamn thing alone if I'm paying $80. But I would like to see that. Oh, thanks for being in, Raisin. Philip says, if a man with one hand does sign language, is it an accent or speech impediment? That's pretty good. Now, my oldest natural daughter has a hearing impairment, and she uses sign language. So I've forgotten a lot of it because she can communicate now without it. She still knows it. But I'd never heard that one before, even given that. Depends on if he's having a seizure, so it's called Tourette's. That's pretty good. It's an accent or a speech impediment. Oh, that's rough. Oh, Spice Kid came in. Hey, Interspecies Reviewer is the best anime. We finally know what gender angels are. We do? I hope you, Spice Kid, I hope you weren't up there assuming somebody's gender, because you don't want that hellfire. I got to talk to Spaz Kid in a few minutes. We got to get his, he was just telling me we got to get a deposit paid for his room, for his housing next year. I went to call the school because I knew you were in a meeting. I went to call the school. And I was just going to ask them, where do I go online? I would have had it paid for you during business hours today, but nobody was in the bursar's office. Let's see. Isaac says, Curtis, I need advice. I went on a date on Monday. Then I asked her how it went, and she said it was fine. Then I just asked her if she wants to go on another, and she said no. I'm kind of confused to why. Could be a million different reasons, Isaac. You never know. I mean, with some people, it could just be that even if they did have fun on a date, maybe they decide that they're not looking for a relationship. Could be any one of a number of things. You can't take it personally, regardless of what the reason is. The odds of two people clicking on a first date are well against you for even the simplest of things. So, I mean, you can't take it as, you can't let it bother you. You can't take it as a personal affront. If for some reason she just doesn't want to do it again, that's not necessarily a negative reflection on you. It is what it is. It could be any one of a million different reasons why, but I wouldn't let it bother you. Again, it's not an indictment of you. uh, we learned so much about the species and who has plus plus. Basket says, "That's my boy." I have not seen Person of Interest, Dennis. No, I haven't. Let's see. Curtis Candy versus Santino Marella. That was a good gimmick, the guy. I liked his whole Cobra thing and everything. I thought that was pretty cool. Chardonnay says Curtis has creeper charisma. I'll accept that. Sure, I like that. Oh, no problem, Isaac. Like I say, it's just the odds of two people clicking, eventually it'll happen, but in any one individual circumstance it happening, they aren't good anyway. So again, don't let it beat you up. Could be a million different reasons why she decided not to have another. There's plenty more opportunity out there for you. Oh, you guys talked about getting Santino for the show, Braxton's college, and the group he run, or the group he runs, the group he's part of that puts Ahab, that puts on entertainment at the school, is having a wrestling show in April, and he's working with the promoter I put him in contact with, and he says they're thinking about reaching out to Santino. Excuse me. Nezuko, Akano, Police Girl, or Asuna for president? Yes, Shirokage. Absolutely, it doesn't matter which one. I don't give a shit what their platitudes are. If you get some, well, not Nezuko so much. I mean, I would vote for Nezuko, but not for the same reasons. Nezuko, like I say, she's just too young for me. I think her character is brilliant. She's no waifu material for me, but I love her character. What the fuck is character? Character. But Akano, Police Girl. Asuna is a little young, on the young side too, but I just love her character. Akano and Police Girl. Oh, that distracted me. Yep, now I know what I'm thinking about for the rest of the day. I'm lying. I was going to be thinking about that anyway. Santino, yeah. I've never met Santino, but he just, I like that gimmick. Yeah, who says English is hard. Yoshikage Kid says, Curtis, I click with all my partners on my first dates. Any specific reason, in your opinion? Do a lot of hand holding, do you, Kidda? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the girls like that intimacy of just a nice little handhold, and we all know that, that's your wheelhouse. That's your forte. Sean says, do people recognize on the street hometowns? Do we get recognized? Sometimes. I mean, here and there. It seems like it comes in bunches. Like one time, what was it? I think it was a New York trip, wasn't it, Brax? We had like 3 people in a day come up to us, and several times at Disney World. Yeah, we get noticed here and there, and a lot of times, and this is something I always tell people. It's amazing how many times a lot of people go into either here in the chat or in the comments at one of our social media outlets and say, oh, I saw you at so-and-so and so-and-so, and I didn't want to bother you. Listen, if you guys see us out, please come up and say something. Please come up and say hi. I enjoy that. I love talking with you guys. It's fun to get to, see you guys in person and everything. So never feel like you can't come up and talk to me. I like doing that. That always makes me feel bad that somebody, I don't want people to feel like they can't come up and say hi, even though one person said we were having dinner somewhere. So what? It takes 10 seconds out of your meal to say hi to somebody. So Omega says, when I was in high school, there was this really odd kid who just wouldn't answer any questions the teachers asked him. He would talk to other students, but would do anything to avoid talking to teachers. Yeah, I can believe that. Again, everybody's got their own little quirks, personality traits, stuff like that. Probably felt a little intimidated. In what you hope is not the case, in a darker sense, you might have some sort of animosity towards uh, authority figures. But yeah, that's part of people's makeup. Everybody's so different. Chippy Salt, bitches love cannons. Oh yes, they do. Ha, and I love those bitches that love those cannons. Hey, Space is fake. Space is fake. That's a good screen name. Murica. Fuck yeah, Regals. Oh, thanks, Isaac, for being the way you could. You too. He's. I don't know if he's still here. Ghostifer says, "How's your son?" Braxton's in here. He was just chatting with us. I don't blame people don't want to approach you in public. I mean, that face is unbearable on here, so I can't imagine how it looks to people when you're in public. Yeah, I get a lot of that. But you guys have seen it so many times here. At least you don't have the initial scare factor. Ansel Hansen says, if titties win elections, then Hillary Clinton has really saggy ones. oh, Ansel, any momentum I had from talking about Police Girl and Akino and so on and so forth just got completely shriveled up by talking about Hillary's titties. Favorite pizza? Samson Jack sausage. Sausage pizza. Yeah, I sausage is the preeminent topping on a pizza for me. I have my specific favorites right in order. The best, it's not just the sausage, but the best overall pizza, and the sausage is very good. I've told you guys many times, is the little pizza place back in the back of the Italy section of Epcot and Disney World. Second place is Rose's Pizza down in New York City. Absolutely love that. And a solid third is Manhattan, of all things. Rose's is down in Manhattan. My third place is Manhattan Pizza, which is here in upstate New York and Amsterdam, New York. So those are the top three. And then there was one place that closed, unfortunately, when I was a teenager in high school. They had sausage on that pizza that was so good, and it was homemade. They made it themselves, so I've never found any place that could replicate it. But it closed decades ago. Sausage Smuggler, yes. Mr. Popo was Marcellus Wallace after freed from Zen. Well put, Shirokage. Yeah, I can see that. I can absolutely see that. Did I go to college? Yeah, Rob, I didn't graduate, though. I took a bunch of courses, had a bunch of credits, but had to go out and get a job. Real world stuff took over. But as I told everybody, I had enough college. My major was journalism. I was able to get a job at a newspaper, and it took me all of 2 to 3 weeks to find out that I fucking hated writing for newspapers. So it's just as well that I didn't continue. Do you guys still have a graduation? The graduation monsters I got Spaz Kid? Oh yeah, they're still. I know right where they are. We ran out of space. Obviously, as you can see in here, I'm gonna redo this whole room to hopefully be able to display more of the stuff. But I got a special spot for all the stuff right in our back room back here. Glenn, I'm buying the ring in a few months for girlfriend. Hype. Good for you, pal. You have to let us know when you actually pop the question. Cosmos Pizza. We had no, it was Cosmos. They're not here anymore, gone. But up here we had a Cosimo's Pizza. COSIMO''. Cosimo's Pizza. I don't know if that's anything close to what you're talking about, but I don't even know who owned. Man, that was ages ago. But yeah, we had Cosimo's Pizza because I used to like that. Should have used my shiny bald head to blind opponents and call it Kidding Flash. There were other bald guys out there and they would have just stole that gimmick. She says no use chloroform, Wick says. Jesus Christ. All right, guys. Well, unfortunately, I got to wrap up the chat now. I still got some editing to do, some stuff to take care of here. Yeah, along with the things we talked about, I'm also going to be doing more of those videos, hoping to do more of those relaxation videos. I want to get a whole slew of them up there so you guys can have a different selection when you want to just interact with the video. Oh, and I did find out, I want to bring this up quick. I apologize to those of you who are trying to get some relaxation from that video and that goddamn ads popped up. I didn't know about it till you guys started telling me. Well, YouTube changed my settings. You guys know, for the most popular video series we ever did here was the Naruto ones. Now, they were all way more than 10 minutes. I always specifically did not have anything but ads at the beginning of the video because I don't like doing that. I think it just, I'll deal with whatever ad revenue the I get from those. And somehow in my settings, it changed it to where I forgot what the terminology is, but YouTube decides where the best place for placement for ads is. And unless I go in and physically remove them, you get them. So now I have to remember every time I already did it on the one we posted. Every time I do one of those relaxation videos, I got to remember as soon as it posts to go in there and remove the extra ads. If you would recommend a short or long-term job, what would it be? Tui, I'm assuming you're in America, truck driving. Get your Class A. There's a lot of places that'll train you for free if you work for them. And the field it's one of the fastest growing, it was for a while, the fastest growing field as far as rate of pay in America. Because now to be a truck driver and to get a CDL, the national license you need for it, you have to be in a drug pool. You have to be tested. So because of that, so many people won't do the job. They're hurting for drivers. So if you want something as to bridge a gap or something you can go make some good money in a hurry, that's it. It's particularly if you like driving at all, if you like traveling. Yeah, I couldn't recommend it more. Okay, I know I got distracted there, but I want to tell you guys that I will try and remember, and if I don't, please feel free to remind me to take those ads out of those relaxation videos. Tui, porn star makes the big bucks. If I did porn, I would have to be comedy relief. You know, then the guy with the real penis comes in and bangs the chick. It's okay. I don't care. I don't mind being the comedy relief at all. As long as I get to be around the female porn stars, I'm cool with that. But guys, thank you for hanging out with me in this stream. This was a blast. Free for all Fridays always are a blast, and we'll have the usual stuff coming up. Sunday will be another podcast recording. I'll let you guys know between now and then, obviously, what the topics will be. But this has been, as it always is, this has been such a good time. I just enjoy this. And Philip says, I'm an ex-truck driver and the companies suck, treat like crap and will pay, but you made my day, Curtis. Keep doing God's work. Well, it depends on what company you go for. Well, thank you, Philip. I appreciate that. It depends on what company. But as an industry, the pay is very high right now. But that's true in anything, though. It depends on what company you work for. You know, you got to be a little more selective. But like I say, for a stopgap job, I think it's a pretty good one. All right, guys. Thank you again for everything. Thank you for hanging out with me. You make an old man. You make an old man's day every day. I will talk to you guys really soon. I'll see you around the comment section, and we'll be streaming. Should be both days of the weekend too. And I will talk to you then.